Good day, class. This will be a reference guide as you revise your promissory note. The letter asked you to write last week. We're using full block letter format, which means everything, all components are flushed left. Ibig sabihin, nasa kaliwa lahat ng components. Nothing is on the right side, nothing is indented. So here are the parts. First one is the heading. Usually heading for a business letter kasama yung address ng mismong nagpadala, which is you. You are the sender. But for this one, it's school-based. We're just gonna need to put the date. So this is the format of the date, October 19, 2022. Uh, the other one, I think, is for business, 19 October 2022. So this one is the suggested format. Then inside address, it is to whom and where the letter will be sent. So the address of the receiver. To, this is the receiver, and through, which means dadaan sa kanya yung letter or siya yung magpapasa sa mismong officer. And then salutation, we commonly use dear, and it's really advisable to use it. Dear madam or sir. Okay, by the way, again, we're using miss even though the person is married. For example, Miss Acohedo, she's actually married and has kids, but it is safe to say that, I mean, it is safe to use miss, regardless of the marital status, whether it be an old woman or a young woman, we use miss. Kahit pa alam natin na meron siyang anak, because this is a formal letter and this is the formal way uh, to call a lady. You just use miss. Hindi natin kailangan na alamin pa kung ito ba ay married or hindi. To use misses, we just use this one. Alright. Then, this is not required, but it is also recommendable to use this one. It's either good day, greetings, um, greetings in the name of the Lord, and others na pwede nating pambate before we continue on writing the body. Alright, by the way, for the salutation, we only use a colon. Wala nang iba. Hindi tayo pwedeng gumamit ng comma because that is not formal. Alright, now, for the body, usually it's composed of 3 paragraphs. Actually, this one, it's already 3 paragraphs. Kahit pa one sentence lang to, it's considered as one paragraph. Paragraph 1, 2, 3. And actually, parang apat nga siya because of this one. Pero yung main text, it's actually 3 paragraphs. By the way, after this, after you state the intention or the purpose, which is in the body, you're trying to close the letter by saying this one. Thank you for your kind consideration. Thank you very much. Or I hope for your positive response. I hope for your kind consideration. And then thank you very much at the end. And then we do the closing. It's sincerely yours. We can also use sincerely, respectfully yours, truly yours, and very truly yours. For this one, it's just comma. So sa umpisa, we use colon for salutation, but for this one, we are using a comma. All right. Now, very truly yours is commonly used for business letters. Parang ito yung pinaka-formal na form. But when we use dear already, it's advisable to just use truly yours. Okay? All right, and lastly, signature. Of course, alam naman natin ang format. It's signature over printed name. Wala namang nagsisignature sa ilalim. Yan. So that's it. That's the format. Again, heading, the date. You can also use the word, or you can also write the word date. Then this is the inside address. Di ba nakalagay yung school? Yung re, it's actually the subject. Ibig sabihin ng re is regarding. It tells what the letter is all about. And we start with a salutation. Diba? It's colon also, not a comma. And then, this is what I was talking about. It can be greetings or good day. And then you state your intention. For this one, it's a budget request. And yan. When you're writing a budget request, make sure that magtatali tong um, nasa table and the one you're requesting. And if you're requesting to uh, for budget to the admin, mas gusto ng administrator, si Miss Larice, na straightforward. So you say your intention, wala ng intro, just say it. You tell her how much and then the details about your request. And she wants it highlighted. Alright. And then, of course, that's the body. Tingnan nyo yung body. It's just 2 paragraphs. And then this one for closing. This is what I was talking about. We hope for a positive response. Thank you very much. So, ito yung actual closing. Truly yours. So, we use a comma here. Alright. Signature over sender's printed name. Noted by. So, for school level, we actually use this noted by. So, it's probably the moderator, the advisor, the dean, the head. So, pwede siyang ipanote if it's a budget request for a certain event. Okay, so these are the things to remember in writing a formal letter. Number 1, every component of the letter should be flushed left. No indentation. So, lahat daw ay nasa kaliwa. 'Di ba? Pantay-pantay sila, walang nakapasok, walang indention, or hindi ka magpipindot ng tab. Use Times New Roman or Cambria 12, 11 or 12. So ito ang ginamit dito is Cambria. Ito rin Cambria. So malinaw kasi yung format na yon. When you use Arial, it's too big. When you use Calibri, it's too small and it doesn't look formal. Now, use 1.2 to 1.5 line spacing. Syempre, if we want to adjust, syempre kung super ikli ng letter mo, better use 1.5. If it's too long and you want to put the message only in one page, 1.2 ang gamitin natin. The common, I think, is 1.19. I'm just not sure if it's still 1.19 kasi I'm using an old Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office. Yung mga bago, I'm not sure if 1.19 pa rin. By the way, we should also justify the body. When we say justify, pantay-pantay, yung nasa kanan. Ikaliwa at kanan, pantay-pantay. Unless you put an indentation. But for this one, pantay-pantay siya, diba? Left, right, pantay-pantay. Except dito, of course, because hindi naman umabot dito yung message. Pero pantay siya dito, technically. Alright. Ibig sabihin nakasagad sa right side. Yun yung justify. And then, when we're giving a name, kailangan ng format ay give a name, middle initial, and surname. Maria Luisa L. Carullo, Benher V. Cruz Jr. So, hindi pwedeng Cruz Benher Jr. V or Carullo Maria Luisa L. Luisa L. Ganun. Ang tama is yung actual format na tinuro sa atin before. Pero ngayon kasi sa college, di ba, nauuna yung surname. But when we write it down, una pa rin ang given name. Then, be specific. Try to research or ask to whom you should be addressing the letter. Kapag magla-letter tayo, kailangan alamin natin kung sino talaga yung padadalan. Dapat hindi tayo masanay ng to whom it may concern. Kasi parang ikaw naman yung hindi concerned sa mismong subject or sa mismong nire-request mo kung hindi mo man lang alamin or hindi ka man lang magtanong kung kanino ba talaga. And sometimes, hindi nila ina-acknowledge or hindi nila ina-accept na to whom it may concern lang. There should be a name or at least the the position and the company, of course. Then, keep the words simple. Hindi kailangan ng highfalutin words, hindi kailangan ng malalalim na salita. Just the simple words. Verify information. Make sure they are accurate and true. Ayun nga, gaya sa pangalan na ilalagay natin uh, sa inside address, kailangan ay tama yung spelling ng kanilang pangalan. And of course, kapag maglalagay tayo ng info, dapat totoo para tanungin man nila tayo, alam natin yung sasagot natin. May question man sila about doon, ay alam nyo kung paano ipaliwanag. Alright. Then, do not repeat words or information. This one is technical wise. Of course, boring kapag paulit-ulit yung information. And bukod sa hindi siya nakakaganda, nakakasira siya ng composition ng isang letter, ay mabobore yung nagsusulat and I mean yung nagbabasa and may tendency na hindi niya masyadong pansinin yung request mo. Same goes sa haba ng letter. If it's too long, hindi nila papansinin yan. Kung, especially for a promissory note na sobrang dami na nagre-request. Also, be straightforward and respectful. So use words may or could to sound polite when you are requesting something. May I request? Could you please? Ayan yung mga phrases na polite. Katumbas yon ng po at opo paggamit ng nyo, kayo in Filipino. 'Di ba? We don't say ikaw when we're talking to elderly or someone in authority, 'di ba? We use kayo po instead of ikaw po, 'di ba? In English, we could use may or could. Or instead of when we're doing imperatives, for example, you're asking for your ID name to the I mean ID number to the miso. Instead of saying ano po yung ID number ko? Pwede ko po bang malaman ano yung ID number ko? Instead of asking, what's my ID number, sir? You can ask, may I know my ID number? Then the person will ask, sure, your ID number is 205523, something like that. All right. Then, do not overshare information without the unnecessary. For example, nagdadahilan ka na ospital, yung letter mo, hindi mo siya kailangan lagyan ng drama. Just state the fact. And then if you really wish to get more extension pagdating sa payment or you wish to to attain something, you can add an attachment para mas malakas yung letter mo. For example, it's hospitalization or excuse letter, for example. Syempre mag-attach ka ng proof para payagan ka. Because if you will just say you're not feeling well, pero wala kang proof or certification, malamang ay hindi siya ma-approve. So, yeah, what I was saying is, wag tayong masyadong maglagay ng emotion pagdating sa letter. Kasi that's a formal letter, that's business letter. And what what they want to see is the actual request. Be straightforward. Ika nga. So sabihin mo ano yung kailangan mo and explain why you need it and put the promise if it's a promissory note. Okay. So, lastly, edit your work to make sure the message will be perceived correctly. So, i-check mo ulit yung gawa mo. Tama ba yung grammar? Kasi kapag may mali sa grammar mo, kapag maraming lapses, pwedeng iba yung meaning pala. So, kailangan ay alam mo yung basics ng grammar, yung subject-verb agreement, kailangan alam mo yun para mas maintindihan ka nung nagbabasa. So you have to edit your work. You can also use sites like grammarly.com to check your grammar. Also, so this is one more example of a formal letter. But as we can see, hindi siya nasunod, di ba? Hindi nasunod yung format. Like, may indentation dito, hindi pantay-pantay sa gilid. And as you can see, sobrang laki nung font size. So, papaliitin natin yan. Gagawin natin Cambria. Tapos, eto pwede na to. Okay na siya. Hindi nga lang siya pantay. Dapat pantay to. And nasa kanan tong closing and yung signature nasa kanan. It should be on the left side, flushed left. All right, let's check. So, ganyan, di ba? Pantay-pantay. Mas maganda siya. And dito rin, pantay-pantay. As you can see, it's justified. And the spacing is good. It's 1.5, I think. Whereas ito ay dikit-dikit, di ba? Malalaki na, dikit-dikit pa. So, yan ang tamang format. Kung makapansin nyo, ang isang magandang letter ay hindi lang maganda ang laman. Maganda rin siya tingnan, 'di ba? Yung appearance niya pantay-pantay. So it's desirable. Whereas this one, medyo magulo siya. Kung iisipin mo, kung hindi mo siya alam yung tamang format, okay naman. Pero ito yung tama and ma-realize mo na mas maganda siyang tingnan. Alright, so that's it. I hope you learned something and I hope na ma-revise nyo ng maayos yung inyong mga gawa. Alright, thank you very much and thanks for listening.